Because it's starting. Okay. Just don't touch
Good evening. My name is Tyler Duggan, and I serve as the school official local chair on the elections committee. Thank you all for being here tonight and for taking the time to engage in this important part of our student leadership process. Tonight's Crossfire is an opportunity for candidates to go beyond introductions and truly demonstrate their readiness to lead. The Crossfire, like the Speak Out, is designed to give candidates an opportunity to share their platform plans for their desired position with the student body. However, this event is reserved for the more pointed and adversarial questions you may have for candidates. Candidates during this event will show exactly why they deserve your vote and reassure you that your concerns are addressed throughout their campaign and eventual ascension to their desired position. First, the candidates will be answering moderated questions that have already been prepared. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to each question. Candidates who would like to review any point made by their opposing candidate during their response to a question will have 30 seconds to do so. At the end of the moderated question portion, the audience will be able to post questions to the candidates about their platforms and intended plans for their desired position. Again, candidates will have 1 minute to respond and exchange 30-second rebuttals to the same question. Before we begin, please keep in mind that the Commission does live stream these events for students who could not attend in person. Please refrain from audible disruption and respect to candidates and viewers. In addition, please hold your applause until the close of each portion of tonight's event. Again, thank you for attending tonight's event. We will now begin. Candidates, please take 30 seconds to introduce yourself and your platform.
Hello everyone, my name is Alana Taylor. I'm a junior business management major from Orlando, Florida, and I'm going to be SOB UGSA State Representative under the platform NERD. Navigate, engage, represent, and deliver. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anna Ann, junior finance major, and I'm running alongside Alana Taylor to be one of your student business UGSA representatives in the platform NERD. Navigate, engage, represent, and deliver. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nathan Video. I'm running for a school business UGSA representative under the platform code, which stands for class, opportunity, discipline, and execution. Thank y'all so much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael MacArthur III, junior marketing major, economics minor from Williamstown, New Jersey, and I'm running on the platform The Job's Not Done, vying for stronger outreach, advocacy, and transparency within UGSA and School of Business and across our whole organization. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Sinead Goodman. I am a sophomore computer information systems major from the Bronx, New York, and I'm running on the platform of Shape It of SOB, which is all about serving, highlighting, making things more accessible, kickstarting new events that students actually feel represented in, and elevating the whole SOB experience. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. We will now move into the moderated question portion of tonight's event. Every SOB candidate has proposed some version of open office hours, anonymous surveys, and direct communication channels as their feedback strategy. These are not new ideas. Why haven't they worked before, and what specifically will you do differently to make these students actually use them? We'll start with last to speak.
Okay, thank you for that question. I think it's very important to have a strong outreach when you are in this position because, to be honest, a lot of students don't confide in student leaders because they don't feel connected to them. When you feel connected to somebody, you're more inclined to speak to them about the concerns you have or speak to them about the type of programming that you want to see. Just making sure that engagement is present. I know that I mentioned in my platform brief that I want to do a Tell Me Anything tabling event every month for UGSA. I also want to work with student council, so student council for SOB, to be able to connect with them more closely during their general body meetings so that we can be able to collaborate and network on events that students actually want to see. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, my name is Michael MacArthur III. And honestly, as somebody who ran for this position 3 years in a row, this being my third, I've heard everything about tabling, open office hours, more transparency. And I think really it boils down to the fact that while we can do more in terms of office hours are there for the point of people can walk in at any time. I feel like we actually need to go out there and actually meet people where they're at. And also, I feel like it's the representative's job to not only just be somebody going out there and meeting the people, but also being an advocate for the people as well. Me personally, I've gone above and beyond my role and actually brought freshmen and sophomore alike into our UGSA general body meetings. And honestly, it just goes into how much you really care about the role and how much you care about actually advocating for the students. And for me personally, I believe that tabling shouldn't stop at just campaign season. It should honestly go above and beyond. But sometimes within UGSA, it happens that so many reps are doing so many different things at the same time that sometimes they don't even have the time to table, as opposed to other representatives that might be in the county. So truly, I feel like it all boils back down to actually just going out there and meeting people where they're at, hosting different street team events as well, and having a solidified street team that actually goes out every month and every 2 weeks to actually come out and see the people and actually ask what people want. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that question. My name is Nathan Binion. The reason why I believe these initiatives have not worked is because of transparency. Coming in as a freshman at our university, I did not know that we had these opportunities. So, through my platform code and my pillar of opportunities, I would like to implement these through the freshmen, not only the freshmen, throughout the whole general body of our university. In doing this, I'll conduct monthly meetings with students. That way, they will know that these initiatives are available. Thank you so much for that question.
I think that's a great question. I think last campaign, a lot of candidates gave percent. Honestly, I didn't see them implemented this throughout this year. I think the big problem we have is that these are empty, open promises that are never carried through. It's very important that we follow through the promises that we give our peers and our students throughout campaign season. So if we're saying open office hours, our doors should be open. A lot of these offices on my hallway are closed. We're never maybe in the schools. I personally didn't really see reps outside of my line throughout the entire school year. So I think it just goes and boils down to being on the ground with students and actually interacting with them.
Hello everyone, once again, my name is Alana Taylor. I think that it's very important that we engage with our students under our pillar Engage. A lot of people don't even know the difference between the separation of powers of Howard University's government. People don't know that UGSA is a programming body. People don't know that Senate is a legislative body. People don't know that HUSA is the actual executive body. So it's very important that we educate our students so that they know who they can go out and talk to and know that UGSA is an open door policy for everyone, that everyone is able to participate and plan events. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. So now we move on to our second question. SOB students are notoriously hard to engage because their time is consumed by recruiting cycles, coursework, and internship preparation. What is one thing you will do to reach the SOB student who has never attended a UGSA event and has no intention of doing so? Sir Les.
That's a really good question. I think for one, a lot of people don't even know like what UGSA does, like I said before. So even it starts off in these campaigning right now, we ask people, hey, have you ever been to Spring Fest? Have you ever been to a pop-up shop? Did you go to your vice meet? They don't know that these things exist. So it's very important that whenever we do have these events, that we go out to speak at VO, that we go on speak at team meetings and make these connections with the people who actually pour into the students from the time that they're freshmen to the time that they graduate, to be able to bring them in and to be able to promote these events with those students.
I think that's a great question. Given that school of business students are extremely busy, it's important for us to adjust our programming to the needs of our peers. If we know that recruiting cycles are from September to October, maybe adjusting our programming to reflect accordingly. So in lower seasons that aren't peak season, program more. Make sure that we're being more attentive to school of business students so that we're tailoring our programming and our schedules to their availability. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. Again, my name is Nathan Binion. In order to tailor events to these students, the main thing would be to plan around VO meetings. You know, students have meetings twice a week, and they're not able to attend meetings events because of these meetings. So if we tailor around them, students will be able to attend, and it was a very big turnout. Thank you for that question.
Thank you for that question. Once again, Michael MacArthur III. And honestly, as somebody who serves as a 21 cap tutor right now and has been through the 21 cap team leader process as well, I feel that honestly doing partnerships and more partnerships with 21 cap program and actually going out into VO meetings as well during the nighttime and advocating for events and advocating for what people want as well is also a very good idea. I feel like we should utilize the network we already have. We already have a strong relationship with School of Business Council historically. I feel like reaching out into 21 cap is pretty much like an untapped market. You don't really see representatives going to 21 cap VO meetings unless it's time for campaign season.
Thank you for that question. I think it's very interesting to point out the fact that a lot of School of Business students cannot be able to attend these type of events that UGSA puts on due to scheduling. So I agree with everyone here that we need a schedule around School of Business. We need people who know School of Business schedule. So when I was just talking to freshmen today, I'm saying, hey, how do you feel about having events on Fridays? Because, you know, usually School of Business doesn't usually have events. classes on Fridays. So that's very important. Knowing the students, knowing their schedule, knowing who they are, and what they're more inclined to be part of. I think a lot of school of business students that I've talked to today don't even know what UGSA stands for. So it's very important to have that outreach, like we were saying previously, so that students can be more informed. And when you're more informed, you're more inclined to be a part of these things. Also, like we were previously mentioning, making sure that your face is known. A lot of students didn't even know that we had reps. Those are very important things because we need the representation in the team of the role that you want to be a part of. We need to represent the students. We need to represent their needs and their wants as well. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. We will now move into our third question. UGSA programming has historically trended towards social events. SOB students consistently say they need more professional development support. How will you advocate for that within the council when social programming tends to draw bigger crowds and therefore more institutional support? Sorry,
Can you repeat that question? I'm sorry.
Yeah. UGSA programming has historically trended towards social events. SOB students consistently say they need more professional development support. How will you advocate for that with the council when social programming tends to draw bigger crowds and therefore more institutional support?
Okay, thank you for that question. I think it's very important, like I've been mentioning to people at my tabling, a part of my campaign. I want people to have their business organizations or any organizations in the school of business be represented. I know a lot of organizations on campus are partnered with UGSA. However, we can get some of our business friends. We can get some of our smaller business organizations to be a part of these events. Also, making sure that students actually know that these events are going on. I think communication is a big pillar in this role. I think students don't really know what type of programming is going on. That's why a lot of school of business students don't really come. Like we were mentioning before, it's kind of redundant. However, like we need better outreach when it comes to these things. And we need students to feel like their organizations are being represented or that they're invited to these things because we don't really have that representation. School of business is very internal. We're not very external when it comes to collaborating with other like maybe COAS council or CNS council. We need to do more of that so that we can feel more empowered family and part of that representation within our smaller organizations as well.
Thank you for your question. Once again, Michael McArthur the third. And honestly, when it comes down to it, I feel that this year, especially, we kind of saw UGSA lead out on our street team. And to be honest, I feel like that's a big reason why, not even just for professional events, but social programming has sometimes not had the biggest turnout that it possibly could. Sometimes we see that there are events that are grand and amazing, but sometimes they get undermined because of the fact that they're not properly promoted. Sometimes the Instagram graphic is not enough to post and not enough to actually reach out to people. So when it comes down to even having professional programming as well, we need to make sure that actual promotion that is happening online is happening in person as well. And with that, I feel like that can lead to building bridges and making a stronger connection, not only in just SOB, but also across every school. I feel like, honestly, we should have more representation in UGSA that's not just internal in our general body meetings, but also external to everybody, because everybody deserves this information and everybody deserves a chance to be a part of our program that we have every year. Thank you for that question.
Yes. UGSA programming has historically trended towards social events. SOB students consistently say they need more professional development support. How will you advocate for that within the council when social programming tends to draw bigger crowds and therefore more institutional support?
Thank you so much for that question. As an SB student myself, I can attest to that. We definitely do need more professional events, especially as a freshman, because we like freshmen. We don't know how to internships are hard. We need different prep. We need things such as interview prep, such as Photoshop. Headshot, sorry. And in order to get those things, I'll definitely advocate within the school to try to implement these because what comes with discipline is balance. And the only way to have balance is with discipline. Thank you for that question.
I think that's a great question, but also as somebody who works within UGSA currently, it's very important to understand that we are a social organization. So if our students do request more professional opportunities, it's just incumbent on us during our social events to maybe advertise those professional development opportunities. Again, it's very important that we understand that UGSA is more of a social organization. We do more generalized programming. Professional development is the responsibility of the councils, the 21 CAP program, and the School of Business at large, not UGSA. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Yes, just to piggyback off of what Nana said, UGSA is a premier programming body on Howard University's campus. So it's very important that we kind of minimize the overproduction issue that we have here at Howard University. A lot of times in different councils and schools, everybody's putting on the same event. So it's very important as a premier programming body that UGSA collaborates with each school who is putting on this professional workshop to have just one big workshop at one time. So we were able to reach a magnitude of students. Yes, we are school district representatives, but UGSA serves the entire body, not just a school of business. So we want to have one centralized place where each student can come and get professional development. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. We will now move into our candidate-specific question. Our first question is for Michael. Your platform is called The Job's Not Done, which could imply that you have unfinished business from your current term as SOB UGSA representatives. Why should students give you another year to complete work you already had time to do?
Thank you for that question. That's a great question, actually. So for me personally, the reason I said the job's not done is because I feel like not just for myself, but also in terms of the representative role, there needs to be a mass restructuring of how our role is actually done. So oftentimes, when I came into UGSA this year, we fell by the wayside. I'll be transparent on that part because honestly, there was no structure for our role. So to be honest, a lot of times you see representatives just go in only for the sole purpose of e-board. As somebody who did not run for e-board this year and solely wanted to just advocate for the students, I feel that my job is not done because honestly, I feel like there's more restructuring we can do inside of UGSA, whether it comes to external advocation and street team, which is something I've actually put upon myself to do multiple times, promoting in my classes of UGSA events and our representative event that's happening on Friday as well, 1867 in Park. So that'll be happening this Friday, and I also advocated for scholarships. Honestly, something I really want to see UGSA do more is more scholarship prizes in our actual event. And with the 1867 in Park event that we're currently hosting as representatives, with all the other active representatives that are currently in our body, I feel like we're taking a step into the right direction, and I want to continue to do that. That's why the job's not done. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Our next question is for Alana and Hannah. You're running as a slate under NERD, and both of you have significant UGSA experience. What is stopped you from implementing your ideas already, and why does it require winning the specific elections?
I think Michael alluded to something very important. The way you just say it's structured is a little complicated if you're not already in the GSA. It is true. You have to learn to be a rep to sit on the executive board for 5 out of the 7 executive board member roles. From each administrative school year, the executive board dictates the way the entire assembly is ran. Now, not every member of the board holds the same weight or holds the same power. I serve as a project manager along as financial advisor. All the work that we do is very specific. So the reason why we're running again is to, like Michael said, bring in that restructuring. We have fallen by the wayside. It's really honest. We haven't put in a lot more work the way we should have compared to the rest of the freshmen. We haven't put in a lot more effort compared to that year. So it's just really incumbent on us to come back and reset UGSA so we can better support students. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Alana Taylor. Just to piggyback off of what Nana said, a lot of times, a lot of times UGSA is kind of a 2-term process, right? So you're building off of the previous foundation that you had. So for example, our current executive coordinator, she was the previous vice coordinator, and she works on what she had since she was a freshman. So it's just very important that as student leaders who have been in UGSA, coming from staff or all the way up to e-board, that we're able to be the change that we want to see. We know that there are issues within UGSA. We know that representatives need to have a bigger responsibility and role and not just be able to serve on the e-board. They need to have a more structured way. Me personally being able to serve in Houston Senate, I know what legislation looks like, and I know I'll be able to rewrite that. So it's very important that I'm able to use my experience from UGSA and Houston Senate to be able to redo that and to make UGSA better. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is for Nathan. Your qualifications are impressive and admirable. However, none of them involve student government or the School of Business specifically. How do you plan to build the relationships needed to get things done and represent SOB students without the institutional knowledge your opponents already have?
Thanks so much for that question. Although I am president and I don't have positions that my opponents have, still have past leadership qualifications, such as being the vice president of my high school. Along with that, I had my hand in one of the largest events at the school this year, which was the SAVE Youth Men's Summit. Along with that, I've done a hygiene drive for the presidents, and along with that as well, I had started a scholarship as a freshman. So I have many qualifications that would make me fit for this position. And I do have a good standing within the freshman class, which is the largest class I do want to say. And yeah, thanks so much for the question.
Our next question is for today. Your platform's highlight pillar focuses on visibility. However, visibility without access to resources or decision-making is just grace. What specific power does a UGSA representative actually have to create the tangible change your platform promises, and how will you use it?
Okay, thank you for that question. I think it's very important to run for the role of rep because, like they were previously saying, you just say reps need to be restructured because I know me being a freshman, I did not have any communication with my reps or access to my reps to say, hey, these are the things that I want to happen. So that's why when I decided to run, I wanted to be able to restructure that as well. I didn't have any plans on being on keyboard or anything, and I don't think that you need to be on keyboard to be a rep or try to be a rep to be on keyboard. I think it's very important to be what the role is, which is a representative. I think through my pillars, highlight and access and making things communicative, I think it's very important to reach out to these students. I've been doing tabling. Not only am I just doing this for campaign season, but I'm doing it to get to know everybody. I've been talking to co-op students. I've been talking to CNOC students. Because UGSA does not only serve SOB when you are in rep. UGSA serves the whole Howard student body. And I think it's very important to realize that. There needs to be more visibility in what people are talking about the events that we're going to have, or where our money's going, or specifically like that. So that's why I decided to run, and that's why I want to make things visible and increase communication and participation as well. Thank you.
Thank you. This now concludes the moderating question portion of tonight's meeting. The audience will now have an opportunity to pose questions to the candidates. Audience members, your questions can be either general or directed towards a specific candidate or platform. Again, candidates who have 1 minute to respond to each question will be allowed a 30-second rebuttal. Do you have any questions?
A quick question. So, I don't know how it is. Okay. My name is Garrison Graham, and my question for you guys is, well, short context. I am a senior, and I've probably heard about UGSA throughout my 4 years being here. I really thought that was just like a group that just does things, you know what I mean? So how do you guys plan on like improving the when freshmen come into Howard and how they, get introduced to UGSA and how they learn about it, not just at like the what's it called, the org fair and such, right? So how do you guys plan to improve that pipeline?
I can take that one. First, that's a little unfortunate, like really did. We went through all 4 years. We did really get a great, at least connection through just say rap or just in general. I think one of the most important or pivotal moments that you just say, one of the most important opportunities is to connect with freshmen or incoming students is bicycling. I showed parents who all went to bicycling. So I think in the aspect of bicycling, you just say just bicycling if nobody knew. But one of the most important opportunities you get to connect with freshmen and connect with all students is bicycling. So outside of just playing the league, I think it's important to make reps available. So if that's like find a way to move our reps in early from the selection to the new one, if we're real fortunate, kind of just having them be around, being available, making their faces known. We're gonna put a t-shirt on that say reps or something, so you know who these people are day one. You can connect with them moving forward. So I think that's a perfect opportunity to connect with these people. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that question. I think it's very important, more specifically for me, because I am the first year chair for the Little Business Executive Council. But I did work with the Baby Bison or the class of 2029 to put on programming for their Bison Week while we were doing freshman orientation. However, freshman orientation is very long, it's very daunting for the Little Business students. So we need to be able to gear the times that we're doing Bison Week or gear the times that we're working around them to try to have them exposed to these kind of things. There's no reason why, as a senior, you should ever have to go 4 years without knowing what you just said. You should say does, or you should say has done in the past. I think it's very important to connect with freshmen. Also, working more closely with the council. The council is directly working with the School of Business freshmen when they first come in. We're doing fashion shows, we're doing events, so that they know what it's like to be a School of Business student. However, I think that the reps need to be more present within that Viking Week for the freshmen. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. I can definitely say I was almost in the same boat as you. Coming as a freshman, I did not know anything as well. So, and I also do believe that starts with transparency. And with transparency, everybody should know from the jump. They should know what a rep does, how to connect with the reps, And along with that, it comes with accountability. I believe if I were to have this position, I would not only hold myself accountable, but hold my peers accountable to tell whoever's coming in, what we do, what we do on a daily basis, how to connect with us, how to talk to us, how to share your opinions, your ideas, just how to make your experience better. Thank you so much for that question.
And I'll take it. So once again, my name is Michael the third. And serving as a rep this year, I feel that one potential way we can actually mitigate this issue of happening, because it's not just a one-time thing. This happens for a lot of people. I know a few seniors that personally have never been to a UGSA event as well. And personally, I'm thinking about myself to try and advocate for them to come to our events as well. But let's be honest, there's over 200 student organizations on our campus currently. And right now, UGSA is fighting against 199 other organizations for the attention of our student body. So honestly, this problem is bigger than just School of Business students. It goes out to everywhere. So I think honestly, through a mass restructuring of having a representative role, not only for the 3 representatives to show up every month during the semester, but also advocate for one viable freshman or any student for that matter, freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, that will come through and be a representative as well, and be a part of the street team and be interactive with people inside the school to have more bigger outreach, reach out to networks that we typically wouldn't reach out to as well. Thank you for that question.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, so I think an important part of like being a representative of any like student body in the world is being trustworthy. So what about you makes you someone that students can rely on?
I'll take that answer. Hello everyone, my name is Alana Taylor. I feel like over my tenure here at Howard University, I've really built a good connection and trust with my peers. Serving as freshman council president of the School of Business, then my sophomore year being elected as senator, then last year being able to serve as UGSA representative, and hopefully being able to do that once again. So each year of my time here at Howard University, I've been elected by my peers to be able to come in and do their work, and that's because everything that I've done has been tangible. My freshman year being a student, being the freshman council president, we put on events that have been able to help students navigate throughout their freshman year, writing legislation such as the curriculum science resolution to advocate for students who have been sexually harassed. This year, as a financial advisor of UGSA, putting on brand new and fun events that people want to see, being able to put on Yardy Thursdays. I want to be the change that I want to see. I want Howard University to be a safe space for students to know that they've been able to create tangible memories, and I want to be able to continue to do that going into my senior year. Hopefully, being a UGSA representative once again. Thank you.
I'll just take that one really quickly. I think I'm not as staffed as Alana, but me personally, I think I'm not Howard to be to drag anybody else down, to not support my peers. Like for example, a freshman actually, he saw me the other day, he saw my backpack, an Apple concern, and he just wanted to know what do I do at Apple and how did I get that up. So just simply connecting with a person in my work around a recommendation, I said recommendation. I want to be able to lift up my peers and lift up other bison. So just honestly being a good steward for our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. I believe that I'm not only trustworthy, but also very personable. I'm very well connected with the freshman class. And to relate back to my trustworthiness, I was able to, again, start a hygiene drive where I donated over 20 items to people in the DMV area who need them. And along with that, again, sorry to relate to high school experience that I am a freshman, I was the vice president of my school, so I was able to talk to students and listen to them, advocate for students. Along with that as well, I was the captain of my soccer team. I was able to lead my team to the championship, to win that championship through accountability. Not only with accountability, through listening to everybody, taking their opinions, and trusting to the team. Thank you so much for that question.
Good evening, once again, Michael McArthur the third. And for me personally, me and Alana share a similar story. During my freshman year, I served as the freshman council treasurer, and then I also have served as UGSA representative for this current term as well. And beyond just the work that I've done, I feel like it also goes back into, as a leader, what is your character as well, to be able to be trustworthy. Me personally, I've always taken it upon myself to be of service. I've currently founded the first ever Howard University Hip Hop Club, where we have actually done Thanksgiving drive, and have also actively taught students about different parts of Black culture as well. So honestly, for me, it really looks like it goes to what are you willing to put in, what are you willing to give to the student body. For me, I've sacrificed a lot of personal time. There's a lot of commitments I've foregone by actually going through and taking up my leadership roles and actually giving back to the student community here at Howard, serving on alternative spring break as well for 2 years consecutively. I honestly feel that character is the biggest advocate of trustworthiness. Thank you for that question.
Thank you for that question. I think it's very important to recognize that yes, personality is very important. But also, like Michael was saying, or like you were saying, or the kids were saying, it's all about the type of person you are. You can't put your trust in somebody who doesn't have any morals or values. So when you're electing these leaders, it's important to look into the type of things that they're doing on this campus, or maybe even off campus. I think it's very important to try to research these platforms or research things that they've done, because you can't just put your faith into somebody who doesn't even have faith in themselves. I think that also, like, as far as what I've done on campus or off campus, I've never been in an elected position as well. However, I have worked with the freshmen. I have worked with so many different organizations. I was a part of School of Business Executive Council. I've been a part of School of Business Freshman Council. I've worked with a whole bunch of other people. I think it's very important to be personable and have that network within how like everybody else.
SOB. Yeah, I knew it was
Thank you.
SOB.
Do we have any additional questions?
I don't know any of these people.
Oh, one more. Okay. So I guess this one is geared towards the two candidates who
Yeah,
are like
no her.
thinking of joining the e-board again. If not elected for like the selected e-board position, how will you remain committed and effective in your role as UGSA rep?
I will remain committed to serving in UGSA or serving the student body or serving the student body. UGSA has become a home for me. Like I said, I've been freshman council president, I've done Houston, like I've tried all the things, and UGSA has really become a home and a safe space for me where I'm able to express myself, and I know that it's become a safe space for students as well. So even if I'm not able to be elected onto the executive board, I know what it means to plan an event, and I know what it means to go out and actually implement ideas that students want to see. And so I will remain committed to that cause if I'm not elected to be, well, if I'm not chosen to be on the executive board again.
In addition to what Alana said, I'd also kind of be committed to whatever the next year's restructuring looks like. And I've also connected with a lot of students who kind of expressed their interest in joining UGSA, being a host, being a dean, working graphic design, working street team. Whatever their aspirations may be in UGSA, I'm very committed to connecting and plugging them into whatever their desired goal is next year. Thank you.
This now concludes the audience question portion of tonight's event. Let's give our candidates a round of applause.
Like they switched SOB and co-op.
On behalf of the commission, we'd like to thank you for your attendance and participating in tonight's event. Please make sure to follow the commission Instagram account for updates with the upcoming election schedule. Again, we thank you for being here tonight and stop with the event. Thank you.
I was not supposed to eat all these. Oh wait, is it over? Oh yeah.